afternoon. This is Two Guys Catching Up on Football. I'm Otis,
And I'm Jerry.
and we're so happy to have you back. I must tell you, after we did our recording last week, my partner went to Hawaii. How was it?
Excellent. It's nice to get away. It always is. Yeah. Always it's good to get away. Yeah.
Now you stayed off your work email, right?
Yeah, but work came to me in text, just briefly. So they did the other way around. Yeah.
Some people's
Yeah.
kids.
But it was quiet actually for a few days. Thank
Yeah.
goodness. Yeah.
Oh well, that's good. That's good. And the weather, I'm sure, was pretty nice. He was in
Yeah. It was hot.
Oahu, yeah.
Yeah. It was hot. About
Ah,
90
well, that's
degrees.
good. I'm glad
Yeah.
to hear
Hot.
that. But let's talk a little bit on college football because there were some really good games, and then there was some really interesting stuff that happened after the games.
I saw that.
A few people who should have been let go a long time ago got let go
I saw
finally.
that.
The U.S. I don't know how you keep a guy. The USC defensive coordinator gets fired. How do you keep a guy when his defense is giving up 40 points a game and your offense has to score 100 to win?
It's about time, right? I don't know. It must be his buddy or something like that. It must be Lincoln's pal, or I don't know. But
Yeah, somebody has photos or recordings of
yeah,
someone.
yeah.
That's
Maybe talk about sign stealing. Who knows? Maybe
oh
Harbaugh's sending out a formula to other teams. Who knows?
yeah, probably so. I mean, because you can't. It would be hard for me to tell someone, oh yeah, you're the best at your job, giving up 40 points a game. Okay, yes, I understand our offense is scoring 56, but can you like hold some? They had a game with somebody from Division 3 that they gave up more than 30
Yeah.
points to, or
Uh,
something like that.
it's pretty bad. It's,
But
it,
what was really interesting was just less than an hour after he fired him, they had a defensive back commit to USC.
oh,
Less than an
interesting. Yeah.
hour. Yeah.
Huh. Well, that's a good sign. They
You
need
know,
it.
you can say it's kind of the timing is suspicious, but it's not suspicious.
Oh no, it
If,
needed to happen.
if he had kept him, that kid was never coming to USC to play on a defense that gives up that many points
No,
a game. Yeah,
no.
and if any of those guys actually get drafted into the NFL, you gotta wonder what film were you looking at?
Right.
I,
Yeah,
you know,
it's true.
were you just taking the coach's word for it that he's good, or did you actually watch him play?
Yeah.
So it was nice to see him finally do something about it, and then let's see if they can improve going forward.
Yeah.
And and then you had Notre Dame lose, and I don't know if the head coach will be there for long. I don't know if it's well. Let me see. I'm sure it's on here. Notre Dame. Well, they scored 23 and they gave up 31. So unless a couple of those,
There's that's called live television.
that is live TV.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
At
He's
least,
happy that I'm home. Apparently.
apparently,
Yeah.
at least he didn't stop to tap around on the
Yeah. He
keyboard or
didn't mess.
anything.
He didn't mess up the key. Get down. But yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Wait.
I didn't see the game, so I don't know if maybe there was a couple of pick sixes in there. I'm just kind of surprised Notre Dame is doing as badly as they are,
Yeah.
considering the offense is a whole lot better than it was a year ago,
Yep.
and their defense is basically the same. So
I'll give them a little bit of a break. They don't have any, as far as I see, they don't have many cupcake games. They have a pretty
no,
solid schedule. They're not
no, they
like
do.
Alabama. They're not going to play Chattanooga or somebody like that.
Oh, who
Uh,
is Alabama is playing? Who are they playing this week? No,
uh,
they're playing Kentucky.
yeah, Kentucky. Yeah.
Someone has a Division III school. Who is it? Is it
Wow,
Georgia?
really? At this time of year, that's awful.
No, it's not Georgia. I thought it was one of the top four teams.
No, so it to me, it's going to happen like we said. SEC East will be Georgia. SEC West will be Bama, and they'll play. And if Bama wins, they'll squeeze into the top four.
Yeah, because they were tied with LSU
Yeah.
in the West, and after beating LSU, they're on top by themselves. So
And I did text you while I was gone because I saw at one point, I looked at scores, I thought, man, Rutgers was beating Ohio State, and some
yeah,
people have Ohio State as the number one team. So,
yeah. Well, they were the number one team because I think they played two or three top at the time top 15 teams, I think, and Georgia had played one or none. So
yeah.
so Georgia has a bunch of top 25 teams to end the season, and they'll
Mhm.
probably jump back up to number one if
If
they if they
if they
go
sweep it, yeah.
yeah if they go through if they
Yeah.
finish out the
Only three
season
games
well.
left, yeah.
Yeah. So I, I I'm looking forward to when they do have the 12-team playoff because then those teams will start playing in December,
Yeah,
and so those schools won't have a month before they play,
right.
lose their focus. And these are
Yeah.
19, 20-year-old kids.
Oh, yeah.
Their focus is legendarily bad.
Yeah, no, exactly.
What was mine when I was 19, 20
Yeah,
years old?
exactly, yeah.
So, it's one of those things you have to kind of expect. So, um, I, 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 I think that's what they're going to do is they'll have the playoffs during December, and then they'll have the championship game in January.
Right.
Yeah, I know you had mentioned once before you'd like to see it be the week before the Super Bowl, but
Yep.
I kind of like it being in January by itself.
Yeah,
Um,
my idea is to have it the week before the Super Bowl, but it's too late in the year for the kids. College will have already moved on to basketball.
yes.
It's a little too late. It doesn't work. So
Yes, and so and them having it
yeah,
after the last Monday night game works for me
yeah.
because you get another
That's
Monday night
Here's
game.
a side one is so while I was in Oahu, somebody asked me, why doesn't Hawaii have a professional team? And I said, it's because it's too far.
That and there's too much for them to do
Yeah,
that doesn't involve pro sports.
right.
Because which is why Las Vegas didn't have a professional
True.
team until
Yeah,
the Raiders moved there. There's too much for them to do in Las Vegas that doesn't require a professional team.
yeah,
So,
right.
if they really wanted to make a lot of money, they could move all the teams, all pro teams to the northern United States, and they would fill out all the time because there isn't much to do there.
You
I
make
used
me. I forget that they did have the Pro Bowl there for many years,
yeah, I
but yeah,
used to
even
live in I
that
used to
flamed out. Yeah,
yeah, I used to live in Omaha, Nebraska. Trust me, there ain't much to do
right.
north of that parallel line. There is not much to do. You just it's cold. and it's snowy. And when I first got stationed there, it was in October, and the fall in Nebraska is beautiful.
Hmm.
And like October 30th, winter comes in. There is like no warning. You just wake up in the morning, and there's 6 feet of snow outside, and so there's
Oh,
no
shit.
there. Fall is your morning, and,
Right.
and that's it. And so, yeah, other than digging your car out every morning, there's not a whole lot to do. So, yeah. And then, well, my partner was coming back from Hawaii yesterday, so he missed a lot of good games. But I want to say probably the best game yesterday was, and I forgot who they played. It was the Texans and the
Oh,
Buccaneers. The
yeah.
Texans and the Buccaneers. So that was the best game of the day.
What's
Uh,
the C.J. Stroud is I either 5-3 or 6-3, I believe, right? The Texans, I
no,
think.
no, no. They're 4-4.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
still, you
Or
know,
yeah, either
yeah,
4-4 or 5-4. And
yeah.
let me click on this because it might show their record. No, it does. They're 4-4.
Still, that's better than last year,
That's
and
much better than last year,
and they're on the rise. Yeah,
and with a rookie quarterback and a
yeah,
rookie head coach.
yep,
So, and I still like Baker Mayfield. He did what he was supposed to do. The
yeah.
defense cannot give up a 75-yard drive in
Right.
47 seconds. I mean, you just can't. And it's not like Tampa Bay has a bad defense.
No.
They've got a pretty
Yeah.
decent defense.
Yeah, they do.
But you can't let a rookie quarterback. And,
No.
and it was a really good sequence of plays because they didn't have any timeouts left. So they got about a 15-yard gain on first down. He threw over the middle to the tight end. They got about a 15 or 20-yard gain on the next play over the middle because that's what they were giving him.
All right.
And then he threw an out that stopped the clock, and it was about a 15 or 20-yard gain. So he picked up 45 yards, 50 yards in 3 plays, and then the next play was a touchdown over the middle. So it was it was just, but Baker had driven him down, and it's like, okay, we only left him 47 seconds. That should do it. And yeah, no, it didn't. So you've got, okay, you got to say it on the broadcast here. Ohio
Uh-huh.
State quarterback, you got to apologize.
Oh no, yeah, he's proving me wrong. He's a Buckeye quarterback that is winning. He's got a winning record. Good for him. They need somebody to
Oh,
step up. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Over the last 2 weeks, we've had to issue a couple of apologies.
Yeah.
Jalen
He-
Ramsey last week,
yeah.
I had to issue that one because I was always
Oh, I
right.
had Fields too earlier. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, um,
You know,
but
you make me think. I do think that the Texans have the Browns' first round pick the next 2 years. I think so.
I think it's the
So
other
here,
way. I think it's
right on cue. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think you're.
I
I think
think
you.
so.
I
So
think you're
I mean,
right.
they have a nice little foundation that they're building.
Yeah, I
So
think you're right. I think, and I read something on it earlier today. It was on Peter King's Football Morning in
oh, Monday
America.
morning quarterback. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he had on there somebody has 6 picks in like the first 3 rounds, and
That might be the Bears actually.
no, the Bears have 2 picks in the
Hmm.
first three,
Yeah.
and then I think it's the Texans have, yeah, because
Yeah.
because of because of the
Well, one is
Deshaun,
Watson.
because of the Deshaun Watson trade. And so I think it's the Texans. They have six
They might.
picks.
Oh no, they wouldn't have it from Hopkins anymore. So yeah.
No, I think they have 6 picks off of in the first 60 picks. They've got
Wow.
6. So it's like they can improve if they don't try to outsmart themselves
Right.
by trying to go against the board and and try to be the smartest guy in the room. Just draft the best player available and keep stepping.
Now I did see, and I don't know, can't remember if I sent you a statistic on Shanahan, and it had to do with if Shanahan is trailing in the fourth quarter, he is not good.
No, I texted that to you.
Oh, okay. I know.
I
Remember
texted,
seeing it somewhere.
yeah, I texted that to you.
It's awful. Yeah.
It was on the broadcast. If the and they didn't really say in the fourth quarter. They just said if the 49ers are since Shanahan
Trailing.
had become coach, if they get down by 8 or more points,
Yeah.
they're like 0 and 30 or 0 and 30
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that's the ultimate front runner. Then he can call a game if he's ahead.
Right.
If he's behind, he can't get off of his
No, he doesn't have the
playlist.
plays. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
he
true.
can't get off his playlist. So, yeah, that's too bad. I'm hoping that they Cleveland had a good game. Uh, did you record it?
Yeah, I'll watch it later.
Oh, okay. They had a good game. Um, and I'm hoping that the 49ers they will have had like a bunch of time off. And they picked up Chase Young before the trade deadline. That happened after we did the show last week.
Yeah.
Um, and I forgot. He and Nick Bosa were teammates at Ohio State.
Yeah.
I forget which one came out earlier. I think he came out the year before Bosa did.
Oh, did he? I thought Bosa was out first.
He might have been.
Yeah.
Whichever one was still there, they were. Yeah, Bosa was out first, so they weren't sure if Young would be as effective without Bosa on the other side, and he was just as
You're
good.
right.
But that's college, so we'll see. Now the 49ers have 2 defensive ends who get hurt a lot, so that'll be great.
Yeah,
Um,
that's it's a. I tell you, when I saw the Chase Young news, I thought, oh man, boy,
yeah,
they picked up some star power. And then the more I looked at some of his stats, is he's not what he used to be because since his ACL.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But
So we'll
have,
see though. You know, he might maybe he gets all fired up again.
yeah,
But yeah,
but having Bosa on the other end, it may do wonders for him. He may not. He probably won't get double teamed nearly as much.
no,
And
yeah,
Bosa, they're going to have to slide protection one side or the other. And
yeah,
when they do, the other guy's going to be one on one,
right,
and will probably win the one on one. Probably,
yeah. You gotta think,
so
yeah.
because their defensive backs are not good, and they've got to get to the quarterback. They
Well,
can't give
that
him too much time.
now when do the Niners play the Ravens? Few
I'm not
weeks.
sure. Let me call it up real quick. Um, their their
Because
schedule.
The Ravens play the Browns this weekend. They're probably going to clobber them again. The Ravens arguably have become the best team in the league.
Yeah, yeah,
And they smoked Pete Carroll. Yeah.
and that's kind of surprising that they did that. Um, let me see. Okay, so all right, so they got the Jaguars and then the Buccaneers. I think they'll win that one.
Yeah.
And then they got the Seahawks. That's kind of 50-50. It depends on which Geno Smith shows up.
Right.
Then they have the Eagles December 3rd.
That's a big game. Yeah.
Now the first Seahawks game is in Seattle, so there's
Mm.
they there's a possibility they lose that one. Geno plays better at home, so but then they've got the Eagles and then the Seahawks in Santa Clara. They played the Ravens December 25th.
That's a tough little stretch.
I I I I looked at it and I thought they could only win 4 of the last 9 games. I,
Wow.
I thought they could only win 4, so
Yeah.
I'm
Huh.
think I'm thinking 9 and 8 will be it. Because Purdy is kind of going back to the mean a little bit,
Right.
and so he's but that's kind of to be expected. And when I looked at the schedule at the beginning of the year, I thought 9 and 8 was going to be good,
Huh.
maybe 10 and 7. I didn't
Yeah.
think it would be much better than that. Um, and Purdy just played really, really well in those first 5 games. They averaged 30 points a game, but then these last three, I think they've scored under 20 points each game. So I still think he's a good quarterback. I still think he's the best option for him.
Yeah, they don't have anybody.
Yeah, I think he's the
Yeah.
best option for him.
I
And
keep
so,
seeing, occasionally, even still, some people out there saying, well, next year the Niners should draft so and so for quarterback. No, 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 no. Don't.
no,
Yeah.
no. And
Yeah.
he's decent enough and he's cheap enough that they
Yeah.
don't really need to go out and get
That is
somebody.
a luxury that no other teams, well, Texans are one, but for the caliber of the team that the Niners are,
Right,
they get to save how much in cap space because they're not paying a quarterback.
right,
They
yeah.
don't got to pay Mahomes. They don't got to pay McNabb. I'm not even going to put
McNabb.
Watson. I mean, uh, uh,
Hurts.
Hurts. Yeah. Jeez. Talk about yeah.
What happened?
Uh,
Did you go back in the Wayback machine just for a
I,
second there?
wow. Middle age. But that came out real fast too.
Yeah,
But they don't have to pay that superstar. So
yeah.
even if it was Donovan McNabb,
Mr. Peabody, let's go back into the Wayback machine. Gee, that was quick. Yeah, they, they don't have to. They don't have to pay anybody right now. I mean,
oh, it's a luxury. Yeah,
yeah, the guys that they need to pay, they'll have room to be able
yeah,
to pay them, because
yeah.
the uh, the
The-
salary cap will go up again, and so they'll have that room to be able to pay him. I think he's making 900,000 this year. I
yeah,
think.
he's right. He shares an apartment with somebody,
Yeah,
so
yeah. That,
he's not living large.
no, he is not. He is not. So yeah, it. We'll see. We'll see. Now we get to see how good of a coach Shanahan
Yeah,
really is. I mean,
yeah.
he
He's
can't.
going to have to make adjustments because teams seem to, at least those last couple of games, teams had figured something out a little bit
Yeah,
to
yeah.
slow them down for
And
sure.
I think teams have realized that a lot of times Purdy does look for the deep throw before he looks for the short throw.
Mm,
He does look. He does look at the
right,
deeper route first, and he
right.
looks at the deeper route over the middle first.
Yeah,
And I think teams have kind of seen that tendency, and are playing him accordingly, because his interceptions have been deep and over the middle.
yeah,
They haven't been to the outside or anything like that. They've been deep and over the middle. So I think teams know that if they give him an opening deep and over the middle, he's gonna go
he'll find it.
after it.
Yeah, yeah,
He's gonna go after it, and
yeah.
they're just kind of baiting him into throwing it. And so we'll see what kind of coach Shanahan really is now. So although we got to say they're still in better shape this year than they were the same time last year,
True.
because I think they were 3-4 or 2-5, roughly about the same time last year. So
Well, you want some games. I don't think you want to cruise too much, right? Is you need to see some quality teams and play from behind. You need to see different things. You don't want to play from ahead all year long kind of thing. If you
I don't
can,
know.
great.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't be against that.
Right.
Your room has gotten dark.
I know. I saw the shadows.
Yeah, you're back
Yeah,
in
the
witness.
shadow has.
Yeah, only the shadow knows.
Yes.
Yeah.
Back
So
to witness protection program I go. Yeah.
yes, it is that portion of our show. So all right, buddy. Well, I think it's time for us to call it a day. Um, and so we're gonna get back and we'll find out traveling music and give it an opportunity. And glad to have you back. I'm glad you
Yep.
got
Thanks.
back
Glad to
safe.
be back. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
to everyone, thank you all so very much. All three of you who watched our telecast and stuff. Wait a minute. There we go. Thank you all three of you who watched our telecast, and we appreciate it. And we'll be back next
Oh,
week. This is two
have a
guys
good one.
catching up on football. Later.